Oh my goodness. Hi guys. My grandson had to come over here because I got lost. I didn't know where to find in stream, and I didn't know where to look for the time because I do, and he did tell me to keep an eye on your time. Excuse me. They came in. They keep coming into my motor home and opening that door. You can tell I'm not a real savvy computer guy, but he just showed me that they moved my spot where it was on my screen, and now they put it way up to the right. Now I understand. I've already taken up 45 seconds, and I got an end stream. I couldn't end this thing. I literally had it on for almost 10 minutes before he come and turned it off for me. Like I say, not the sharp stick, the board. Well, I thought I could tell you about. I'm sorry I jabbered on that first one. I wanted to correct a few things because I realized, my goodness, I listened to it and went, how can I make such a mess? First of all, um, the grandparents that we went to was Herman's, which is the first number one, the love of her life. Herman's parents were the place we went to. They had a farm too. I mean, back in those days, I know Elizabeth knows a lot of parents had farms. Thank goodness, because I forgot to say, my mother's mom and dad and all the kids, every aunt, every uncle, every friend they had used to go to their farm and get help for food. I think that's kind of neat, but my mom says that's what I do. I mean, when we had our small farm here for a while, we gave people fruits and apples and tomatoes and stuff. I used to let a couple of neighbors, I let them pick beans just because they didn't have any money. And they said, well, how much are you going to charge me? I said, I know you're struggling. Come on and pick some. How about you fill up this blue bag? Oh, they'd be so excited because we grew string beans. Oh, my goodness. I wish I had pictures. Uh, I didn't have a camera, so I didn't take pictures, but we had an archway. We built an archway, planter boxes that were 24 feet long. Then we did an archway over the top of it, and then we planted beans every 2 inches, and up they grew, and they grew up and over the arch both ways. Oh my goodness! With those when it flowered, oh, I'm. I wish I had pictures. It was gorgeous, just beautiful arched flowers over the top. And then when we got the beans, we had beans. Oh my goodness! I mean, there were so many beans. First year we had it, we had no choice but to give some away. It was so many beans, but it was fun, and that's what I'm saying. If I ever get to a property, which we're working on, I'll have to tell you that story another time. So I want to talk about my mama, but we're going to grow another bean thing. I'm going to make it actually. I think I'm going to make it 32 feet long. I just love string beans, and I love, if nothing else, we don't sell them, which we try to sell them to pick up at least our seed money and stuff. If we don't, I don't care. I'll give them away. It's just fun to do. I love that beautiful place. Plus, my daughter, quite frankly, has the greenest thumb of the whole bunch of us. When she used to grow tomatoes, we'd have 4 rows of tomatoes that were taller than me. And we had tomatoes. Oh, she has a green thumb. Me, she's the brains and I'm part of the bronze. And so is her son-in-law, my son-in-law, I mean, her husband. But let me give you one correction. Herman's parents, again, they were the ones that owned the other farm. My mom's parents owned a farm. Remember, a lot of stuff, I was young, but they had a farm, but they all passed away before I was even born. I never got to meet my mama's parents. And I wish I would have, but I got to meet Herman's parents. Unfortunately, they treated me like a grandson. They really did. I had a grandma who loved me, my dad's grandma, but I didn't have to get my mom's grandparents. They passed away. Like I say, that's part of the things I'm telling you about. She's seen death. That woman, when I get finished, you'll see what I'm saying. She has seen more death than most human beings will ever see. That's why she's my hero. She's not just because my mom. I mean, Elizabeth's my hero. She's been telling me stories. It just, I mean, what a gal. And it's fun to have her come back and give me comments because what a gal. That woman knows. I had a funny feeling that if I started to tell these stories, I bet you she could get online and tell you stories, probably make you cry. But I wanted to correct that. Let's see. I also wanted to correct what else? Oh, I forgot to tell you about my dad because this was my blood dad, even though my stepdad to me was my dad. He was my hero. I mean, my dad, my blood dad, he got electrocuted. You know, I told you that on the line. He got electrocuted because his best friend, who was in the Navy with him, they were working on the job, and his best friend got stuck on the power, and he was burning up. My dad, like I told you, he was at Airedale. I learned that from my grandmother and my mother. He went and hit him like a football player and knocked him off of the electrical line. There was only one trouble. There was nobody left to knock him off of the line. Now, I did meet that man one one time only, and he had terrible scars all over his face and arms. He was a very burnt up man. And he started crying because he said, "You look just like your dad." Hold on, I'm going to let my dog out. Come on, Pete. I don't know why they let you in, honey. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. I know. You like, come on. You want to go? You want to go? Then quiet down, please. No more bark. No more bark. The devil, like a roaring lion, he's seeking who he can devour, but he ain't gonna get me. Just like he's not gonna be like me. I know you're tough. I gotta get him a snack. See, we get these things. Yeah. Give him a snack and he'll quiet now. Okay. There you go. Okay, snacked out. Sorry about that. So, my dad knocked him off the line. There was nobody to save him. And by the time some people panicked, they hit the power and turned it off. He fell to the ground, but now that's when they found him. He was burnt like toast. But the friend, he cried when he saw me because he said, "You look just like your dad." And he says, "He saved my life." And he goes, "I'm so sorry." I said, "Well, unfortunately, I didn't know him, but I'm sure that he must have been a great friend." And he said the best. So that's a short story. I didn't want to get involved, but I had to tell you that to catch up. I got tongue tied on some few things. One more correction, if I can see it. You know, I'm so sorry, you guys. I said I'd be more organized on this one. Um, on the only children, I told you guys I got tongue tied up. I made a mess of that. My son in law's mama was the only child. And the other one was, and that was my son in law. Then my daughter was an only child, and my son was an only child. I mean, his wife is an only child. So there was four, but I twisted it around. I had it all messed up. It sounded stupid. So that's what I wanted to tell you. Now I'm going to get on four. Number four. Okay. Now remember, she's lost four, two twins. She lost four, two twins. And she lost her husband. And then she lost my dad. Okay. Now we're going to go to number four. His name was Jim. I just give first names because I don't know. My brothers and sisters might not want to hear these names, but he was a sergeant in the Army. That's why I said it's very important you know that Herman's rank. Well, guess what? Jim was a sergeant in the Army, and he was stationed at Fort Ord. Um, she fell in love with him. I mean, trust me, I've seen her with my stepdad, who was my dad. Nothing like she was with this man. Now, my brother George loved him. loved him. By that time, he was 13 years old, and he was going to take him on the military base. I mean, my brother went to Cucamonga with him. And I think if that man would have still been alive and they married because it was his fiance. They were ready to get married. Okay. If he would still be alive, my brother wouldn't have died of a heroin addiction, which I'll tell you the story later. But the point is, she loved him. I want to just go through it a little more organized, so you know who Jim was. Like, I didn't like him. There you go. I didn't like him. Reason being, remember I told you a long time ago, I'm scared of the dark. And him and my brother, and I love my brother, they used to think that was funny. Ha ha ha. Little kid. Of course, Jim, my mom, again, remember, I'm the kind of the middle son that didn't mean squat. I mean, he loved Cookie and he loved George immensely. I was a sissy, is what he said. That's what he called me, a sissy. And that's okay. I don't care. But I was a sissy to him. So I didn't like him. But you know what? I don't care. My mom loved him. There was true, I could see it in her eyes. There was true love there. And like I say, I learned early in life, if she's happy, then I'm happy. Just in a different way than my brother and my sister. My brother idolized him. My sister loved him. Me, I could have taken it either way. So that's how it got started. Okay, they got engaged. My brother loved him. My mom got pregnant. Oops, before they got married. Okay, I didn't know this. You'll see why in a second. So he was going to be out of the military, muster out of the military, right around. I got to pay my dogs for these snacks. He was in the military and he was going to muster out within a month, so 30 days. And then he was going to take George on camping trips. I could say he idolized George and George idolized him. My mom loved him. I mean, loved him. So we go along and just keeping track so I don't get off where I go forward too far. Okay. So what ends up happening, driving back to Fort Ord, it's in an area I know the road. I was in business and I used to drive that road. It's a 2-lane road. It's the most dangerous road, I think, in the Monterey Bay area. And a drunk driver hit him head on, killed him. It just devastated my mom. I mean, literally destroyed her. And so, again, nobody knew she was pregnant. And all of a sudden, I saw something like, oh my goodness, I don't know. George was angry. I got beat up for it. My brother beat me up, but I don't care. The point is, he was the love of their lives. My sister was too young yet, but he wasn't. My brother was at 15, critical age, and he loved him. And what happened is when he met Jim, my brother was starting to become quite the troublemaker. But he just loved him, idolized him. So when Jim died, he took off. I never saw him much. He would be gone for 2 or 3 days at a time, seeing his friends and everything else. And my mom she was cuckoo. So what happened was, I come home one day from playing out in the yard. Because I'm a loner when it comes to that, because I learned that, and it used to make my mom mad as heck. I would come along, she'd say, get mad at me, go to your room. I loved it. I said, okay. I could sit in my room for hours playing by myself. I used to play with little plastic cowboys and Indians. I'd sit and line them up on my bookshelf, and I'd have a ball, shoot them all down with my BB gun. My mom just left me alone, but she realized, well, that's not a punishment to Gary because he's happy. Or the favorite thing is, get outside. Wrong again. Okay, see ya. I wouldn't come back till dinner. Dinner was very important to my mom. Dinner was at exactly 5:30 every day. You better not be late or you go to bed without food. I said, well, she's not me. That was her rule. See, the kids today don't understand what rules are. That was her rule. 5:30 dinner. You will sit at the table. You will literally go wash your hands first. You better wash your hands. You comb your hair. I don't have my hair anymore, but I combed my hair and I used to wear a crew cut. I went, sat at the table, and it was only for family talk. Didn't want to hear a bunch of nonsense. No cuss. Even though my brother cussed, he had a toilet mouth, but no cussing. You get slapped with that. So here we are. He died. What? I come home one day from out in the yard playing, probably around 10 o'clock in the morning. I was out 5:30, and there was my mom laying on the kitchen floor, blood all over the floor, and she's passed out. And I freak out. Well, back in those days, they didn't have a dial 911. I got on the phone, and there's an operator. Can I help you? And I says, my mama is her. I don't know what to do. We will just calm down. And she tried to keep me calm when I talked, just like 911 would be, until they got the police to roll. And they did roll an ambulance. Well, what had happened was she went again. A sad story. She wasn't a Christian, you guys, till her last days of life, and that's why I still believe she's in heaven. But tried to. She went to have an abortion. Okay, apparently by a hack. That's what the blood was about. Now, I'm the only one that knows this in the family because like I say, for some reason, I was the dumping ground to talk. She talked to me and me only. She told me what she did. She said she was really sorry. Of course, I forgive her. And maybe God was working in. It must have been working in me from back as a young boy. But I didn't know God. I didn't know Jesus. But the point is, there I was, feeling helping her, trying to help her. I mean, I did everything for her because I didn't want her to walk far and all that stuff. But not only did she come back with that, she felt so guilty about committing an abortion with the second love of her life. Not my dad, not Archie, him, the second love of her life. And she drank a big glass of straight bleach. I didn't know this until later because I found the cup on the floor and I smelled it. I said, oh, that's terrible. Well, come to find out, she told me everything. I drank the bleach because I was bleeding, I was upset, and I'm so sorry I did that. And I said, it's okay, Mom. But she tried to off herself. After losing Herman, my dad didn't count. I'm truly saying, and I'm saying try to make anybody sad. That just was somebody she needed to support her son of her life and me. Not, that's it, just her son and me. So it ended up, I went to my Grandma Lulabelle, her Herman's mom and dad came to our house later that night. I didn't know what to do, and the gal asked, so I gave him the phone book. And I said, "You have a grandmother and grandfather?" And I said, "Well, that's my mom's father and mother-in-law." They called them, and they came right away. They lived in Lancaster. It took them 3 hours to get there. So we were with the police. They stayed in our home talking to us, just me, because my brother taken off for one of those Johns for 4 or 5 days. He didn't even know what happened. I didn't have anybody else, just me. So they took care of us, Grandma Lulabelle, and I called him Pop. And that's what happened there. So I want to make sure I'm going through this. So here she was. She's lost another husband. Okay. She got back on track. Now, this is all in, I believe, 1958. In 1958, she got back on track. And my brother he went off the deep end. He started being a bad boy. I mean, a bad boy. And he ran away, just took off. He was 13 years old, almost 14, but You have to know my brother. I didn't grow till I got out of the military. When I came home, I was 5'1" when I went into the military, and I came out 5'11". My mom used to she was shocked. I'll never forget her. I snuck home, got her home without telling her I hitchhiked and did a lot of things. She was mad at me for that. And she went to looking for the short guy. And all of a sudden, she looked up because she was only 5'6". Well, you, what are you doing? How did you grow so much? I said, I don't know, Mom. The military stretched me on a stretching machine. A joke. So she had spanked this. I'm sorry, I got off the military. So what had happened? George was a bad boy, and she's just so frustrated with him. She grabbed a belt out of her hand because she told him to do some stuff. And he said, no, I'm not doing it. And she was spanking him with his belt. And she had his arm. He was going in circles. And the belt buckle accidentally, and I mean accidentally, because a belt don't hurt. I've been spanked many times. It's just a more loud pop than anything else. But the belt buckle slipped down and it hit him and cut the buttocks and down the leg a little bit. And oh my God. My brother said, you happy now? And he took off. He ran away. That little stinker was gone for a whole 1 year. Now she's already lost 4. She's now got 5. And she committed suicide and had an abortion. And then her son takes off. The son of her life, the number one kid. She didn't know what to do. She was miserable for months. For months. She just was miserable. And I couldn't help her. I couldn't help her. All I could do is I was there with her, just me and her. And I went to school like I was told. Basically, I knew how to cook my own dinners. I would make her breakfast. I would do everything and anything I could because I love my mom. And so here she was. It took her, my goodness. We were almost into a year. My brother was gone. Woe and behold, my brother, my older brother, the son of her life, my uncle, my mom's brother, older brother, found him in Tahoe. He was waiting on tables. And of course, my uncle, now remember, my brother was 6 foot tall when he was only 13, 14. By then, to him, he probably had turned 14. Well, he did, because he left when 13. 14 years old, they found him. And so he said, you're coming home with me. And he didn't fight with him because he liked my uncle. And they got in the car and drove home. And it just, my goodness, my mom went from a dull, very frustrated personality to up on high again. That's her number one son. And she just fell in love, so excited that he came home. Okay. Now, no marriage right now. He's been gone a year. She's been living alone. She's happy because my number one brother, her number one son, was home again. I had a bedroom, and he had a bedroom, and my mom had the master bedroom. Now, in those days, track homes, I call them cookie cutters. Track home cookie cutter. We lived in a house, 3-bedroom house, 1 bath, and it was down the hall, right closer to my brother than me. But that didn't matter. The point is, it was a nice house, and we each had our own room, which made me darn happy because, like I told you guys, I can play by myself. Very, very simple. I could entertain myself. Well, lo and behold, it's going pretty good. I see my mom in a really good mood. She's back to work at the cannery. Happy, happy, happy. Okay. But what happens is he's in high school, got him back enrolled, very smart. My brother, I used to just go, I struggled to get through high school. My grandma, my dad's mom, um, here's a sad one, but it's not sad because she offered my mom $10,000 to buy me. I didn't know it was for sale, but she wanted to buy me. She wanted to pay her. I find this out all later. I found out from my mom. She wanted to buy because I told her, I probably told her one day I was down. I said, you don't love me anyway, but that's what she told me. Well, I could have sold you for 10 grand. I didn't understand what she said until she said to your grandma, your dad, your mother's father, father's mother. But I did. So don't tell me I don't love you. So I, of course, cried and I said, thank you so much. But the point is, now she's lost five. Five individuals die on her. Okay. So what ends up happening is George lights a quarter stick of dynamite and blows up 3 toilets in his high school. Well, that didn't go over big. My mom didn't have a lot of money. She had a house, but she didn't have a lot of money. And she didn't know what to do. It was a serious offense. Not as bad as it is today. He probably would have gone to prison. They locked it or threw the key away. But he was only 16 years old. So the judge was going to put him in jail. My mom pleaded with him. And so he told my mom, I want you to take him down to one of the recruiting centers to see if they will recruit him. My mom said, he's only 16 years old. I don't care. Take him down to the Navy recruiter. I know the guy. Tell him the judge said to talk. Well, again, remember, my brother was very smart. Very smart. And that guy was good looking. He got girls like it was no tomorrow. Never had problems. He went down to the recruiting office, and he had such a high score. Now, remember that back in those days, radar was just coming out. And they needed mathematicians because that was part of radar. I'm not smart, so I don't know how that worked. But the point is, it was a cakewalk for him. Well, he went in the Navy for 2 years, and he was really good at it. He served on the Lexington, and he went overseas for 2 years. Well, that didn't make my mom real happy because guess what? Number one son gone. So along the way, and I'm stopping here, but I'll say along the way in steps, man, number 5. Interesting story because I've already taken 27 minutes of your time. Interesting story. Number 5 is probably for my mom and for me and my older brother, because she married Archie. The number 5 guy comes in and my brother hates you. That's what I'll tell you. I'll leave it there. My brother hates number 5. Hates him with a passion. So when I come back, I'll come back tomorrow and try to finish that story and see if I can get into the last one, number 6. But number 5 was probably it's a long story. I was going to try to add it, but there's detail in that. Some of the stuff that happened, I got to share with you just because I want to show you what my mom has gone through. So remember now, five people died so far. Her twins, her love of her life, my dad, and then the second love of her life, this was Jim, had died. And then my brother takes off into the Navy at 16 years old. Now, my life was good because she worked and I played and went to school. I mean, that's good. I never really got involved too much with family stuff. I was good. But we'll keep going tomorrow with number 5. It's an interesting story. That's, to me, of all the stories from my mom and the terrible things she's been through, that one there is a wowzer. That is a wowzer. So we got the husbands out of the way. She married Archie. And I probably threw him backwards. Maybe that was number 3. The bottom line is she got married. She was single. George was in the Navy. And now I'm sorry, we did have Cookie when that happened. My sister, he loved. So now my sister, see how I tongue-tied it. My sister is a little girl. I'm now still the built-in babysitter because she's dating. She's going out on dates. Well, as you guys know, somebody's got a babysitter. And I was the guy. I don't care. By that time, we had a black and white Octagon TV with the Mickey Mouse show. I was in seventh heaven because we kept my sister happy too. Cookie, all you had to do is give her two cookies and let her sit and scoot around and watch Mickey Mouse show. So that's how we'll leave it for now. But number 5, whew, that's a story that I think pretty well almost put her over the edge. I mean, the two that she loved, that hurt her. But this puts us all in a bad position. So I'll come back tomorrow because I'm going to try to get that one. That's the clearest one for me because I lived through that one. So when you come back tomorrow, if you're interested, come back for number 5. It's an interesting story, I think, for anybody. I love you guys. And remember this, I almost forgot. How can I forget that this is the day that the Lord has made? And you and me, we are all going to rejoice and be glad in Him. I love you guys. See you tomorrow at about 10. If nothing goes wrong and the sun doesn't fall, I should be here at 10 o'clock. Love you guys. Bye. There we go. I